Hey there. Hey, how's it going? Oh, hey, what's up? Hi. Welcome to Alex Reads Littler Things. This is Prelude Tea. Let's use this the name of the thing I did for some reason. Who knows why anymore. The coffee's too hot. We're going to be reading Faraj's Wedding Night by Rumi. Out of delicious laughter, rambunctious teaching stories from Mathwani. Lotus! Faraj's Wedding Night. A certain king had a Hindu servant named Faraj, whom he had educated. A very lively young man, curious about the sciences and the arts. The candle of his intellect had been lit, and he was thriving in the king's kindness. The king also had a beautiful daughter. Her legs and arms were smooth and glowing like silver, her disposition radiant. She had almost reached the age of marriage, and she had many suitors offering fabulous dowries. Every day a new courtier came. But this was a wise king who thought to himself, wealth means nothing. It blows in over the morning breeze and out on the evening. And the same with physical beauty. A handsome face can be scratched in the thorns. And noble birth is also worthless. The children of the nobility are usually interested only in money and horses. And special talents, too, are not what's truly valuable. There is a kind of knowing that is a love. Not scholarly knowing, that minutiae collecting doesn't open you, it inflates you. Like a beard or a fancy turban, it announces you, saying, there are certain pluses and minuses which we must carefully consider. This other knowing love is a rising light, a happiness in both worlds. The king chose for his daughter a husband with that quality, and everyone criticized him. He has no wealth, he is not handsome, he is not from a famous line. The king simply replied, those characteristics are not important. The marriage was arranged, and preparations began. But the Hindu servant Faraj became sick and could do nothing. He was dizzy and weak. The doctors could not determine a cause. One night the king said to his wife, you are like a mother to Faraj. Go to him and see what's wrong. The next morning she went and brushed Faraj's hair and kissed his cheek and soothed him until he finally told her the secret. I am in love with your daughter. I never thought you would give her away to someone else. The queen could barely restrain her surprise and her anger at this, but she did. Be patient, was all she said. And then she returned to the king. Can you imagine this presumptuous servant thinking he would marry our daughter? Exclamation point, not a question mark. Can you imagine this presumptuous servant thinking he would marry our daughter? Don't scold him, said the king. In fact, he must be told that we will break off the engagement and give our daughter to him. This news will make him well. Animals are made strong and happy by feeding them fodder. Young men are made happy and physically active by the expectations that their desires for honors and for the girl they think they want will soon be satisfied. So the young man was told, and a party was held to celebrate how the king had arranged a marriage for Faraj. Faraj strutted about, very full of health and new energy. On the wedding night, though, the king sent a substitute, an adolescent boy disguised in a dress with fingernails painted and forearms decorated like a girl's. That was all that showed of this rough approximation of a bride. At the customary hour, the excited husband was left alone with his covered figure. The father quickly blew out the candle and left. There were some surprised cries because of the noisy music. But because of the noisy music, no one heard anything outside no one outside the chamber heard anything. The drum and the tambourine kept beating, the hands kept clapping. The cries of the men and the women outside blended with the cries of the two adolescents inside. Came the dawn. Faraj and the disguised one were tangled in an embrace. What does a dog know of a sack of flour? As is the way, clean clothes were brought. Very confused, Faraj gets up and goes to bathe. Troubled and torn, shredded to his very basis, like the rags of the bath stokers. Faraj returns to find the actual girl seated in the marriage chamber with her mother. He eyes them both for a long while, and then holds up both hands and waves them away. May no one ever be cursed with such a wife. In the daytime you're beautiful, but at night your private parts are deformed and worse than a donkey's. This is true of all world pleasures. They look delightful before you test them out. The world looks like a delicate bride, but be more patient than Faraj. The eminence you think you want, the power over others, let all that go. It's better not to ride on other people's backs. That's how we arrive at the grave. Tend it just to what's yours. If you drop your whip, dismount and pick it up. Don't ask someone else to do your work. Ask within. And when that presence directs you, whatever you do will be right, even though externally it may seem wrong. Don't curse the oyster for having an ugly encrusted shell. Inside, it's all pearl. There's no way to ever say how we are with phenomena. Like a moth with a candle, we singe our wings and forget to come back to do this, and then forget and come back and do the same thing. Like children, we spill the salt, and then we spill it again. Like Faraj, we put up both hands and say, "No, your face is very lovely, but in bed you're something totally different." I won't be fooled again, but he will. We make resolutions and we forget. Paper flares up and then goes out. Funny story, I guess. I guess the message is, take your time with things that you think you want to learn how to love them in the ways that they need to be loved. Don't just fuck some guy. But also, he was tricked. He was fooled. So I don't know if it's like the same thing. I like children, we spill the salt and then spill it again. It's my favorite quote ever. I've said it before. I must have read that poem. I thought it was like written on the back or something. This book's for Andy Dick. No shit. This book says for Andrew Dick. Makes sense. He needs this. I don't know. A lot of time to talk about that one. Like children, we spill the salt, and we spill it again. Like children, we spill the salt, and we spill it again. Like children, we spill the salt. Like children, we spill the salt, spill it again. I don't know anything. Nothing's real. I gotta go to work. I fucking don't want to. What are you looking at me for? You haven't put more effort into those. Thanks for noticing. Except for the G here, I ran out of room. So it says Neo Nick. I don't know, bro. Yeah, it seemed like the king was trusting in Faraj, right? It seemed like he had taught him well, perhaps. And maybe would teach us something about how it's okay to fall from the caste system or whatever, for the librarian to marry a prince of Mars or something. Or prince of some other country. It doesn't have to be a different planet. It doesn't have to be an alien. Love is love. And the knowledge of love can be attained by any type of citizen. I thought that was the message that we were going to get. Nope. Poor people are bitches. That's what we learn. All right, I'm done. Sorry about that. I'm not sorry. Yeah.